Hey chess friends, my name is Sprout. Welcome to the road to 1300. Let's get a game started and we'll see what happens today. And I want to have a little PSA as we play as well. I want to talk to you about a problem I've struggled with a long time, which is elo anxiety. You know, every game, before I press the play button, I always have, like, a lot of anxiety that I have to deal with just to press that button. Even with what I'm doing right now, it's, there's a lot of anxiety. I kind of feel a lot of, like, electricity running through my veins. And, you know, last year, it kind of shut me down from improving as a chess player last year. And, yeah, that stinks. There's not much more to say about it than that. But I get a lot of people asking, surprisingly, I get a lot of people. I don't know who's out there listening to me, but if you are, hello! I'm glad to have you. I get a lot of people asking what I do in order to, like, get past that, you know? By the way, this situation we're happy to take, and then we're gonna get an interesting little snake pawn formation over on the side of the board. But, yeah, I get a lot of people asking how I've learned to deal with it. And there's no easy answer to that. Last year, going into this year, I made myself some New Year's resolutions, and one of the things I really wanted to do was to push myself to, I wanted to push myself to do VTubing, because it sounded fun. Way back in the day, years ago, I don't know how many years ago now, there was a anthology show called Black Mirror. Probably heard of it. British show. I think it's British anyway. Yeah. Anyway, one of the episodes they did was on, like, a sort of character that was, like, appearing on the side of a van or something like that. It was basically like a cartoon character, but the guy was, like, inside the van, working the magic, like, bringing it to life in real time and interacting with people, like, audiences and whatnot. And I thought that was really cool, because that was just something that it didn't seem like, I mean, you couldn't do it. You know, you just couldn't do that, like, at the time. I thought that'd be really cool if you'd be able to do it at some point. Because, yeah, this was, like, I think this was on like, TV, like, 10 years ago or something. I don't know. But, anyway, I just thought it was cool. So, eventually, I decided I wouldn't mind trying to do something like that. And here I am. But I wouldn't be here if I let my anxiety, you know, get the better of me. Let's go ahead and castle kingside, I think, and then we'll have to do something over here. I'm not planning on jumping there. Maybe we back it up and then try to pawn push. So I wouldn't be here if I didn't, like, get past it. So I created a lot of goals for myself. Goals that had absolutely nothing to do with elo, with winning or losing. Like, right now, I'm talking to you guys right now, and I could care less if I, like, well, okay, I can't say I care less, but I don't really, like, if I lose this game, especially since I'm talking to y'all, I'm not gonna be broken up about it, really. This looks like maybe a hook that I can use. I kind of want to start pushing and taking up space on the queen side. So, we've got this nice square that we can jump to that would make things a little bit annoying for our opponent. Let's see. I also could just get these rooks situated. I think I'm going to push here. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. But I think I'll go with it. So where was I? I worked out a lot of goals that weren't based on elo. or rating, or whether I won or lost. One of my goals at the beginning of the year was just to practice resilience, to become more resilient, to play 10 chess games a week, and truly, just get to that point where you can play 10 chess games a week. But it looks like now this is kind of an interesting little outpost for my, well, for anything, really. But that definitely looks like I could cement... Well, I can't really cement the bishop there, I guess, because then they can just play this and kick it. So what to do? I will have to move my my knight out of the way. Maybe we can do more pushing then. What about there first? That looks interesting. Doesn't look wrong. So, yeah, I wanted to play 10 games a week. I wanted to practice resilience. That does not look great. If they want to take, be my guest. And I need to move this anyway to push on that side, so... But if I do that, then I'm also blocking, because otherwise I could go here, I could get in there. It's still not enough to actually, it's not actually enough to win in this situation. And moving here is not anything really. Yeah. And I don't really want to push, but I could. I don't think I have enough really to go on that. This will have to move back. Maybe I could move my rook over to e1 to but that's not actually what I want to do. But rook lift might be like in the cards. So let's just do that. We're gonna try to get a rook lift going on. I do believe that would be annoying. And unfortunately I have to take, because they can push. I have to probably take here to avoid them, but then they can push this way too. That's an interesting one. Do I want to take there? I don't think so. This is very hard when you're trying to have a deep conversation. My opponent's not being very considerate of my of my conversations that I'd like to have. I do think I can definitely jump in there now, though. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump to b5. I think that almost forces them to take. Okay, well, I think we can maybe take there, but I don't want to trade things off just yet. I can also retake right here. I think I want to retake first with the queen. So, as I said, I developed a lot of like goals that weren't ELO related, because I just knew that to make anything work, I couldn't have anything work if it was, if my anxiety was getting in the way. And I still feel the anxiety. It doesn't really change. A lot of people, I guess there's a lot of people that say it's ELO anxiety, the fear of losing ELO, but I think it's the fear of the unknown. I think it's because I am really... I can't say I'm nervous about it, but when you sit down to play a game of chess, you know, chess is one of these things that's really closely tied to your perception of yourself, like your intelligence levels or just how with it you are on any given day, you know? Do you have the ability, the capability to do these things and grow as a chess player? And I think all that with self-doubt and, you know, it's kind of... It's so many things, I think, beyond just being afraid of the rating. I think it's the fear of the unknown. Okay, well... That's an interesting place to move. I'd like to do something here. Maybe we just move in here. It's getting kind of annoying. Yeah, this is a really annoying game. It's an annoying game when you're not actually paying super close attention to things. I think, though, I do have this push that I could do, and then I've got some stuff stacked up over here. Also, they can just take... I don't have anything really good then. I could go here. I mean, it's a really good knight. And if that fell, that would fall. At the same time, this is such a bad bishop. Do I even care about it? Not really. Such a bad bishop. Let's do something about the knight. I realize they can just take. So I think kind of coming to the realization that it's about the fear of the unknown, and then how do you grapple with that idea that you might lose? And for me, I think you have to do what you can in terms of setting yourself up in the right mindset. Like, I know when this music is playing in the background, and when I sit down and I've got my coffee and I'm here at this desk, that I'm locking in. This is like time to lock in, time to play some chess. So I'm putting myself in the correct mindset to want to play chess. Okay, interesting. But then can't I get in that way? Yeah, I gotta watch out for this though. Jeez. Yeah, I think we're gonna push. And we're gonna try to get some more pieces in. Okay, that's happening there. I think, though, now that is in play. Or maybe, you know, well, not really. I could take here. And then I guess, I mean... Is that really that big of a problem for me? Or can I do an intermezzo? I could move in here. I mean, I can take there. It's fine. I need to get this other rook more involved. This is, that's hanging, isn't it? So maybe if we, threaten after this, that might give us some, something. So let's go here. And then we'll take the bishop off if they don't do anything. So we're threatening two pieces right now. Yeah, so I set myself up to try to be in the best headspace. also helps me as well, but Sprout is like all happy and positive, like a force of positivity. Weird talking about myself in the third person, but it really forces me also to lock in and be present and mindful of just what I'm trying to accomplish here, because I'm running a show, you know. It's not just excuse me, it's not just for me. I'm running a show. So, that's kind of bad for me. And that's just going to turn into checkmate, which is unfortunate, because I'm going to have to move this over here. And I'm still have this on the way, but we'll find out if that works or not. It's going to be real close in terms of if I have enough time to pull this off. Very hard having, like I said, having a serious conversation. My opponents played really well, though. 1,300 from Brazil. Hopefully they're not having any of these same issues. But it does surprise me how many people I talk to that do have those issues. Yeah, it's a lot of people with this sort of issue. I still don't think my attack really works. I think they have to screw it up in order for this to work. But either way, we've had a good talk, right? We've still had a really good talk. Really good chit-chat. I mean, there's something like that, but I don't think that really stops anything. I think we just have to move in here. I mean, if they take with the queen there... I think actually taking with the queen still works, because if they find it, because I have to retake then, and then they can go into here and give a checkmate. So we'll see if they find it. Next game I probably won't have a super deep conversation, but hopefully you've all, like, enjoyed having it, or hearing about the silly problems of, like, a cartoon red panda, you know, all these silly things. But hopefully, you know, there's someone else out there that's, you know, having the same sort of issues. I'd say, too, you know, finding other people, finding a community, finding a support structure, people that kind of believe in you and are trying to help you. You know, that all helps. And taking it slow, giving yourself some time, setting up realistic goals for yourself, you know, kind of baby steps. Yeah, setting up the baby steps. But the important thing is to find a way to break through. You know, and finding out what motivates you. You know, what is it that's really important for you about playing chess? Why do you want to play chess and overcome? You know, if you do have this elo anxiety, this ladder anxiety, what do you want out of chess? What do you enjoy about? What do you love about chess? Or what scares you about chess? You know, just acknowledging all of those things. And acknowledging that a lot of other people are just like you. They're also kind of scared and intimidated by it. And by doing these things, we are building resilience. And that's going to help us, you know, on and off the chessboard. So, if my opponent finds it, it's a really nice, it's a really nice mating pattern for them. They should find it. I don't think it's like if this was in like puzzles or something, I don't think it'd be too high a rated puzzle to see that. So they have to see it real soon, because otherwise I think at the very least, I can probably turn it into a perpetual. Yeah. But, you know, getting back to our topic. So at the start of the year, I was 950 was my elo. And I've just been playing... Oh, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. We'll see. They're going to move off into that side, right? But then I can just move over here. Oh, well that's just a check. And then another check that they're walking into. Yeah, that's kind of not great for my opponent. Yep, there we go. The problem is I don't think I have a checkmate. But I don't care. I shouldn't have won this game. Or I mean, I shouldn't have even drawn this game. The fact that my opponent is potentially letting me have a draw here is not right, you know? That's really not right. I'm racking my brain to think if there's any way on the quick that I can win this, and unfortunately there isn't. If I had just a little more time, I could maybe isolate the, I can maybe isolate this guy, lock it in place, try to do something. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to, like, actually get down here and save this. So we're just gonna have to be happy with a stalemate. Which I am. Again, I shouldn't have even had a shot. I was not playing well. We were having a discussion. And hey, we had a discussion and still came out on a draw and still gained 1 elo somehow. That's crazy. Let's go ahead and review our game, and we'll kind of wrap up this this elo anxiety discussion we've been having. So I don't know if anything I've said has been helpful. Maybe, hopefully it's helpful just hearing that there are other people that deal with this, that, you know, you can overcome it. I mean, my goal by the end of this year is to hit 1500 elo, and then really to see where this takes me, you know? But I've come 300 elo since the start of the year, and that's, you know, that's incredible. For someone, and I don't play hundreds and hundreds of games of Rapid. I don't. I play maybe 10 games a week, if I'm lucky, because that was my goal, you know? My goal was to play 10 games a week. So I'm just playing a little bit every day. And then if I don't have the ability to play, or I don't have, like, the, if I'm too tired after work, I do puzzles, you know? Keep my mind fresh, keep learning the tactics. So speaking of tactics and the game, let's see what we did. So this game, real quick to talk about the game. It was a Jabava London, which is one of my pet openings. Best opening ever. Well, sometimes it's the best. I think it's the best right now at like 1250. But I'm sure, you know, by the time I'm 1500 and up, I'm sure I'll have a different opening I really like. But this one's serving me pretty well. And you can see we did just fine. We had a winning position, at like a severely winning position. I just wasn't able to have, you know, this conversation with you and also play the best game possible. But this time it was more important to have the conversation. You know, if I lost the elo, if I lost whatever it was, like 6 or 7 elo, you know, no big deal. It's not like I'd lose it and I'd be so angry, it'd just ruin my day. No, it wouldn't. It'd be fine, because we were having a talk. And that was more important. All this stuff is pretty good. Nothing earth-shattering. We were coming up with some good moves, even though we were severely distracted and not paying attention. Which I think goes to show you kind of how good the Jabava London is. The fact that sometimes you can put so little effort into it, yet you're okay, you know? here's where things went crazy. So I hung the rook, but we didn't stop. Excuse me. Coughing. I was sick earlier this week, really sick, and I still have a little bit of a cough, so excuse me if I cough here and there on the mic. Well, not actually on the mic, I'm not coughing into the mic. Anyway, so we blundered the rook, but we kept on fighting. And that's going back to resilience from playing a lot, even though we're kind of nervous to. We're not just going to give up. We're not going to get angry, We're not going to be one of these players that blunders a piece and then smashes the table or something. Or punches a hole in a wall. We're not going to do any of that. We messed up. We were too busy having an intellectual conversation and trying to help some other people. Oh no, how horrible. But whatever the reason why, if you blunder, it's okay, Like, even this is a mistake. I had a cute little idea, but as I said, I think at this point here, I had told you that, like, it was a flawed idea. I even saw the flaws in it. And you can see, too, that our opponent, they started to make some mistakes and give us a huge chance. Even though we were barely really putting any brain power into this. And our opponent was up by 4 points, up by a rook. You can see, like, they just lost it all. Their entire, like, everything just disappeared now. But what I'm wondering is, what does it say we should have done? Because it's saying, we were in a good position here, a winning position, but what should we have done? But I still... Okay, yeah, no. See, I am silly. I was just fine. I don't know why in my head I'm like, something would happen and then they'd be able to... Yeah. Just goes to show you what happens when you're not giving chess your full attention. So I guess that's the other thing. Like, do as I say, not as I do, sort of thing. Like, when you're playing chess, give it your full attention. If you're a lower elo player, that's going to make a huge difference. If you're a 1200 elo dummy like me, that'll probably make a big difference too. But anyway, we got a stalemate out of that. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. If you're kind of suffering from the same issues as I am with your chess anxiety, and if you're not, well, I hope I've been entertaining you, and you've been able to say, wow, what a silly red panda. He's so silly being afraid of chess. There's so many bigger things in this world to be afraid of. Maybe. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the entire episode. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you ever want to interact with me live, and I can talk to you kind of back and forth as a part of the community, feel free to follow me on Twitch. The link is in the video description. Alright, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!